Hi kids, my name's Lizzie. I hope you're doing well. And today we're going to learn about a learning disability called dyslexia. I have dyslexia. I'm an adult. I went to school when dyslexia was just starting. So it's come a long way. So let's learn about my life with dyslexia. My life with dyslexia. Hey there, I'm Scott. I'm a smart, fun kid just like you. I play basketball. I like computers. We might have some differences too. I have dyslexia. Let me tell you a little bit about my life. People with dyslexia have trouble with language. It can be hard to read, write, and spell. Kids with dyslexia are born with it. People are more likely to have it if someone in their family has it too. My mom and brother both have dyslexia. That's not always true. I'm the only one in my family that has dyslexia. However, a distant cousin has dyslexia. So it is in the family line, but it doesn't mean that your sisters and brothers and your parents can have it too. Just putting it out there. I was the only one in my house that had dyslexia. I still have trouble spelling, so if you have dyslexia, it's always going to be a thing. That's why we have Google. Ask Google how to spell stuff. People with dyslexia want to read and learn, but their brains have a tough time connecting letters to the sounds they make. Their brains might mix up letters in a word. It might add or leave out letters. People with dyslexia might not say words in the right way. They could have a hard time learning words that rhyme. That's true. I still mix up my speech sometimes when I'm talking, and I had a very hard time learning how to read out loud. So don't worry, kids. You can overcome it. I learned, you can learn too. Just stick with it. Dyslexia affects me in other ways too. I have trouble finding the right word to say. So I say stuff and things a lot. I have a tough time knowing from right, and I often forget the name of my street. My writing is messy, so I can use an erasable pen to erase my mistakes. It's also hard for me to tell time, so I use a digital clock. I still use a digital clock, but I can read a regular clock. It does get better, but I prefer that as well. I also have a hard time knowing my left from right, so always make that, whatever one makes the L is the left. So whenever I get confused, I do this. Which one is the right L? When you draw an L, it has to be the right way. This would be a backwards L, so I know that this is left. Sometimes I still do this when I'm driving. Even the adults struggle. So it's always going to be a thing, but it does get easier, and nobody even knows I have dyslexia anymore. So you will get better at it, I promise. I still forget things a lot. That's a part of dyslexia. Mixing up words, street names, mixing up people's names. That's very common. At school, my teacher breaks up my work into smaller parts. She gives me more time to do my work. I take tests in a quiet, empty classroom so I can focus. At home, I use a ruler that highlights words as I read. I also listen to audiobooks. Speech to text on a computer is helpful too. It types the word I say onto the screen. So if you're struggling with spelling, you can just use your talk to text when you are older. However, you still want to keep working on it. I was also a student that had special test privileges. I like to listen to music because it tuned out all the distractions, but sometimes music is a distraction. Find what works for you. The ruler does work. Sometimes, if it's a really fine print, I use a piece of paper and just move my paper. That helps with your dyslexia too. So don't pick on anybody in your class if you see them using a ruler, if you're not dyslexic, because they might be dyslexic and they struggle just to be able to do what you can do. Reading is hard work. I have to take breaks. Mom jokes with me to help me relax. I hang out with my cat. My friend Emma also helps me. She is quiet and calm, which makes me feel better. We get very, very angry and upset because we get frustrated, especially when you're a kid with dyslexia, because you just want to keep up with the other kids. You just want to be normal like the other kids, and it's not your fault that you're born this way. And there's millions of kids like you. I know you don't always have one in your class like you, but I promise you there's another person in your school that has dyslexia. You are not alone. Everybody struggles with something. Just take a deep breath. That's what I did whenever I got frustrated. 1, 2, 3. That worked for me, because you do want to throw your book sometimes. Don't throw it out. It's normal, okay? It's just because you have to work a little bit harder and you're angry that you have to. But it's not your fault. You got to let the anger go. It's just how you were born. You were born special. Percy Jackson was dyslexic. Maybe you're Percy Jackson. If you don't know who that is, you should Google it. It's a really good movie. Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. If you're dyslexic, you will love it. Alright. Words seem to be everywhere, so dyslexia affects me outside of school. 2. It's tough to read signs at football games or other events. Reading menus causes me trouble. I read the words wrong and ask for the wrong food. The server gets confused. I get upset. I need more time to get the words right. Mom helps me. As you get older, this gets easier. I struggled as a kid to be able to talk, but I struggle with really big words or like foreign words. When you get to high school and you have to learn a different language, that gets a little tricky because it's harder for us to speak. I still jumble my words and I just do this. Let me start over. Just be funny with it. It's okay. People with dyslexia can be sensitive to how other people feel. Struggling to read can make me sad. I want to help people who are struggling. When my school got rid of old books, I helped out. I gave the books to the kids who don't have any. I'm also saving money to buy food for people who need it. Oh, what a good boy. People with dyslexia have a unique way of thinking. I love to code. I've learned how to give computers the instructions to do all kinds of things. Coding has reading and typing, but a big part of coding is solving problems. My brain is good at that. Last summer, I went to coding camp. I had tons of fun. Coding wasn't around when I was a kid, but I have heard great things. However, technology is not so great for me. I still have a hard time reading the GPS because I see the arrow the opposite way sometimes. So technology doesn't always work for everybody who's dyslexic, but I am very, very diligent. I am very good at puzzles. I'm very good at solving crimes. So we do have very analytical minds, which means we're like detectives. We gotta figure it out, kids. My family often plays games together. At first, it was hard to read and learn the rules. I worked hard and kept trying. Now I'm really good at lots of games. I have fun. See, you just gotta keep working at it. It does get easier every day. This is the real Scott. The one that the story is really about. There's real kids all over this world that has dyslexia, and there's a lot of adults like me that have dyslexia. People pick on me to this day about my spelling and how I speak. Not as much. I just stick my tongue out at them because they're bullies. And we don't need to care what bullies think. because bullies are just sad inside. So just pray for them. And if you don't pray, just wish good things for them. And hopefully one day they'll be a little bit nicer. All you can do is your best. Just stay in the day you're in. And if you're having a tough day reading and writing, take a break. Get up. Do something else for a few minutes and then sit back down and try again. Sometimes walking away from it for a second. If you tell your teacher, I just need 2 minutes. Can I just walk around the classroom and clear my head? It depends on what's going on. If you're taking a test, you probably can't. Maybe out in the hallway. Talk to your teacher about it. Say, I have dyslexia, and sometimes I get frustrated, and I need a minute. Every teacher you tell that to will understand. They understand dyslexia a lot better now, and they're a lot more trained to help you. Don't be afraid to ask your teacher. Don't be afraid to tell your teacher that you're just having a tough day and you're struggling. They will talk you through it. That's what they're there for. You just got to speak. Don't hold it inside, because that's when you get so mad. Just say it. I'm really frustrated right now because I want to read and I can't read right. My brain isn't keeping up and it's frustrating me. Every adult will understand that. That's all you have to say. And you will get the time that you need to breathe for a minute. You just can't freak out. If you stay calm and you tell the people the truth, a lot of people don't even know about dyslexia, so they might not understand why you're getting frustrated. So when you say it, they'll be like, oh, miscommunication, which means when you don't talk, when you're hurting, or if you don't explain something enough, that can cause arguments, or it can cause people not to understand. And the more you help them understand what you need, the better it will get for you, because they're going to be able to give you what you need to get better. But you got to ask for help, and don't be embarrassed. Everybody struggles to read, whether you have dyslexia or not. That's why school is hard. That's why there's so many years of school. It takes a long time. So don't rush. Take your time. You will learn how to read, you will learn how to write, and you will be able to speak just like me. You just got to breathe. One day at a time. You got this, kids. See you next time. Bye.